All right, good day, everyone. I am being shown here that it is go time, and I am now live on YouTube. So, good morning, everyone. Good afternoon or evening, wherever you are tuning in from the world. Wow, just my voice is super hoarse. I talk a lot. I teach like online, like 22 classes a month, and my poor voice, wow, is it taking the hit? So, good morning, everyone. Hi, Harvest Rose and Dawn and Jackie and Heather. Hi, Wilma and Rebecca. Good morning. Good morning. So, we're talking about the August frequency forecast. As usual, my name is Nancy Rebecca with Intuitive Mind. You can visit my website, intuitivemind.org, to read more about me and my blogs and things like that. I am a registered nurse who happened to have an out of body experience 30 years ago, which completely changed the trajectory of my life. Um, so I've been working as a full-time psychic mastery teacher and doing readings and mediumship. But the other thing is that I'm usually tuning into the frequency that's happening on the planet. I will tell you, I probably started doing this about 20 years ago. And yet, what's really coming through now has a much stronger influence from the earth and a superpower influence right now in 2023 from the cosmos. And this is just going to get stronger and stronger and stronger, especially between 2023 and 2025. And there's no easy way to get around it. We are going through changes, and it does not take a psychic to know that we are going through changes. So, good morning, Eric and Sandra. And oh, yeah, Yvonne got these flowers. They're quite gorgeous. So let's go ahead and just jump into some highlights about the August frequency forecast. So first of all, I was just reading this morning on CNN that our planet is undergoing the hottest heat wave in over 100,000 years that they've been able to calculate. And I know here in the United States we're going through it. I know Canada. I know Europe. My parents just got back from Croatia and Italy, and they said it was super hot there. So, these are big changes that are happening on the earth. Does it frighten me? Not really, but there's definitely big shifts that we are having to adapt to. So we're having to adapt to weather changes. We've already been attempting to adapt through political changes, government changes, corruption, the blue light star beings coming through that have been telling me since 2017 what is hidden will be revealed. And wow, they said, we're just getting this party started. What has been hidden will be revealed. And so exciting times to be living on the earth. If you can remember that you are here, you are a spiritual being having a human experience. And if you can remember that you are here on earth because you agreed to be here on earth to assist each other, assist humanity, assist Mother Earth through this great time of change, then it's a little bit easier to have some patience for some of the things. So what do I have here in my notes? Expansion through several dimensions is the word of the day in the month of August. Lion's Gate is August 8th, which is a week from next Tuesday. But for some of you, you'll be watching this replay after August 8th. But we'll just kind of talk about the significance and how important the Lion's Gate portal is. We are having enhanced galactic influences at the galactic core, the great attractor. I have now decided to name the galactic core the place of nothing that contains everything. The place of nothing that contains everything. And what I mean by nothing is this pure still point that I've been able to have experiences with when I work with the blue light and the light from the planet, from the constellation Orion's Belt in Sirius. And so I call it the place of nothing that contains everything, because within that it contains probably all the answers that we don't even have questions for yet, that is contained within that. So we are being infused. The auric field right now, I'm seeing many people. It looks like a big funnel. The crown chakra keeps going wide open, which is causing a lot of ascension symptoms, by the way. You really want to learn how to regulate that. You want to learn how to manage that so that you can feel a little more comfortable in your body. A lot of third chakra stuff coming up as well. So this wide open crown activates this high level knowledge, so that it can start to be integrated into the body. And that's when we start to find those ascension symptoms, which just means your frequency's going up, but your spirit's excited, but your body's like, I'm not quite sure about this. Prophecy, I think that's the topic of the day, which is about this big. When I worked as a full-time psychic seeing individual clients, sometimes I would see someone that came in and they would sit down, and as soon as I tuned into them, the first words were, "You are sitting in the presence of a prophet." And this could be, an elderly woman who crochets and likes to write cards to the grandkids and, bakes bread and pies. And when I'll ask them, are you aware that you have a big gift of prophecy? They'll just say, oh, yeah, I know things that are happening all the time. So it isn't just the big spiritual teachers that might be getting information, that might be knowing what's going on in the future. There's a lot of people that are so tapped in, a lot of you that are really tapped in, but you don't speak about that. Many spirits are choosing to cross over at this time. So how many of you have known of a loved one that's crossed over? Know of a friend who knows someone that's crossed over. So there's a lot of people crossing over. When I was a hospice nurse, I always had this saying, the big bus in the sky, or the big bus from heaven is going around, because as a case manager, as a hospice nurse, you'd have your same patients for a long time, but then suddenly they all would choose like the same few days to cross over. So I always said that there was a bus going around. Why did I say there was a bus? Because most of my patients would say that they saw a bus, or that there was some kind of mass transit that would come to pick them up. One time I had a patient who was really near death, and then the next day she was up and about in her chair, had gotten out of the shower, and I said, wow, I thought you were about ready to cross over. And she said, well, I got on the bus, but there was nobody celebrating about this big crossover. So I decided they were a bunch of boring people. So I decided to come back and get off the bus. So that's a term that a lot of people use, see, and sense when they are crossing over. All right. So many spirits are crossing over this time. What Spirit said was to lighten the burden on earth, and so that they can go on the other side to help. So what this means is, it doesn't mean that your loved one was a burden, but that they may have carried a lot of pain throughout their lifetime, just like many of us. We can kind of drag around our stuff. We hear these terms of like, we've got this suitcase of old stuff we're carrying with us. And then once you pass over, you let that go, it all dissipates, and the vibration of the earth goes up just a little bit more. So they're leaving their burdens behind, they're clearing them, they're healing them. They're healing a lot of them when they cross over. So we are noticing that there's big shifts. And then once they get over into the spirit world, once they rest, once they get get kind of acclimated, because remember, when you cross over, you don't talk verbally like this, you communicate telepathically. So it might take your loved one a little bit longer to remember how to communicate telepathically. Mass shifts in relationships. And I've got the fall equinox that's coming up in September. So I was really tuning in a lot in September and this whole fall season. Big mass changes in relationships. Does this mean that you're going to leave your relationship or get a new relationship? Well, it could be, but the biggest thing that I'm noticing is that there's just shifts in the relationship, that they're growing, that they are expanding. And those old belief systems around the relationship, the old patterns, are starting to crumble and fall away. So it's changing both of you. So then you're having to say, hey, do I want to try to hang on to this old way that makes sense to me? Or am I willing to move with this person that I care about a lot into another way of engaging with each other? And that's what we're going to see more often. But for you to be able to find that dance pretty smoothly, you've got to be willing to learn a new dance step. We'll just kind of put it that way. You're going to hear more about relationships all the way through the end of the year. But in September, that's going to be a big focus for the fall equinox. The sign of the fish is coming up big time. The sign of the fish, which is a strong spiritual connection between the air and the oceans. The air and the oceans. Spirit saying that the whales, the dolphins breathe air. Fish move oxygen through their gills while remaining in the water. This is significant in August. So this means that there's a big, big connection between the sacredness of the water, the sacredness of the cosmos. There's a big communication that's happening between those two. And where are we caught? Right in the middle. You know, kind of that boat being rocked. We're feeling all this coming through, those ascension symptoms. You just are going to have to get better at focusing on the light, focusing on the prize. Oh, I don't feel good. Let me go out for a walk. Let me meditate. You know, let's do some things to support your body. So big, big stuff. Lionsgate portal. Let me talk about this portal a little bit more. This particular year, for me personally, as I tuned in and I meditated on this particular Lionsgate portal, it's always a big opening, almost between the galactic core and the great attractor. It's heavily and highly aligned with Orion's belt and the planet Sirius. And this year, this month, this August 8th, prophecy's a big focus. So prophecy means that you have a better concept of what's coming up so that you can align with it, or you can get ready for it, or you can relax into it. And so prophecy just means that you have a sense of what's happening in the future. So I was working with my advanced group of students last night, and we were talking about this. And one of the students said, you know, we have to remember that prophecy can happen in very small ways throughout our day as well. And I was saying that our relationships, so here we go back to relationships, where often you can tell, oh, I'm dating this person, but I just know it's not going to go anywhere. That's a sample of prophecy. Yep, we're going to have fun, we're going to date, but yeah, I don't see any long-term thing going on here. Or you know that a friend is dating somebody else and you're like, yep, that's not going to go anywhere. Those are smaller levels of prophecy. And then you've got other people like me who's talking about the frequency forecast, where I'm really just talking about the vibration, and our big influences on the human auric field is where I tend to keep my focus. So anyone who prophesizes, who has the gift of prophecy, you're going to have different ways that you're going to bring that information through. So in this Lionsgate, the Lionsgate activation period is an astrological spiritual event that occurs every August 8th. It's believed that these cosmic alignments are going to come through this energetic gateway that's going to open between the Earth and the star Sirius, which is this blue star that contains this blue energy. So again, kind of like the air and the water, or like, you know, the stars and the Earth, there's this pronounced energetic flow that's going to be coming through. So mark that on your calendar if you want to do like a little ceremony, you want to meditate on the Lionsgate, especially when it comes to prophecy. Lionsgate aligns between the Earth, the Sun, and Sirius in the zodiac sign of Leo, which is represented by the lion. So today I'm wearing this, it's a tiger's eye, and this is a carved tiger that I got in China. It really wanted to jump out of the jewelry box today. This alignment will create this heightened flow between the spiritual realms. Okay, let's see here. August, I will say, there is a spiritual acceleration. We know this. We've been going through this spiritual acceleration. But this August, it's almost like you're in the car. You've got your bag over there. You've turned your cell phone off because you're a responsible driver. You've got the key in the ignition. You've maybe put your GPS on because you know the destination that you're going. You turn the key. You've got the engine running. You've got your foot on the brake because you're about ready to put your vehicle into gear to start moving forward. This is how I see August. There is an acceleration for sure, but there's this different level of movement. So August is almost like this preparation period. Again, I'm going to talk about prophecy, where this high level knowledge is being funneled through. It's starting to awaken and activate. Remember, 8823 is an activation portal to awaken prophecy. So you have a better idea about where you're going. You've got the engine on, you're put it into first, and you're going to start moving here more towards the end of August, starting into September, but there's going to be this kind of accelerated movement upwards. However, there's also going to be another group I'm going to talk about in a minute where it's just going in a straight line. So again, more movement. And for all of you, it's going to be different. You have your own karma. You have your own spiritual contracts and agreements. How you move intuitively, you're all different. Some are feeler, knower, hearer, seer. And so all of those, you're going to start to get a better sense really of who you are. But the big thing is, quit trying to figure yourself out. Quit trying to figure yourself out. You have yourself figured out. All right. So just tell you, I have myself figured out. If I was to tell someone, these are my qualities, these are the cultural ways that I believe, you've already got a sense of where you are. As I said last year, I remember I said often, Spirit would say, it's time to stop contemplating our navel. We've gotten really good at processing. And I was noticing that with people, that the higher that you spiritually evolve, it's almost like you hunger to spiritually evolve more. But there comes this time where you want to take all those gifts and abilities that have awakened inside of you and apply them to helping others. So we are in this mass awakening of the consciousness on the earth. It's time that we start using that to help other people. Okay, let's see. Accessing higher knowledge, I've already talked about that. Release and renewal. The Lion's portal gate is believed to support the release of old patterns, old belief systems, old emotions that no longer serve you, and then get out there and help somebody with that. Manifestation. Often they'll talk about Lion's Gate as being an enormous manifestation time. So let me talk about manifestation. In this month of August, that's what I'm feeling, like this enormous hunger that comes up. And so hungry ghost is a term that's used in many Eastern traditions, Buddhism, Tibetan Buddhism. Probably other cultures in the world might call it something different. Hungry ghosts. So write that on your piece of paper. Do you know that they have a Wikipedia write-up about hungry ghosts? So you will have no problem finding out more details about that. So what I'm feeling here in the month of August, this sense of hunger. So remember I said you spiritually develop, and then all of a sudden you have this enormous appetite to spiritually develop even more. So it's almost like this insatiable appetite to spiritually develop. We have an insatiable appetite to want to manifest. Now, right now, it's important to manifest because you are in this energetic playground right now. You want to learn how to take the energy, take the molecules and the atoms, and then kind of put them through your funnel of your more physical chakras and your belief in your capacity to do it. Start manifesting in life, not because you want to hoard, not because you're hungry for more money or a bigger house or a better car or more clothes. It's not about all that. You're learning to manifest so that you can learn that you can manifest very, very easily. So always keep that in mind. Keep your head on straight. I'm practicing manifesting. I have a really dear friend that took me to Las Vegas to show me how to manifest using a slot machine. And I remember I only wanted to use pennies. I'm like a uh, I was using pennies because I was thinking in a very small way. But my friend would play the slot machine and talk to the slot machine, and the slot machine would say, put in 3 different quarters here. You're going to get over $1,000 back. I watched her do this over and over and over again. Did she keep the money? She never kept the money except to pay for her the hotel and the food. She would go around to people sitting around the slot machine. Here's 100 for you. Here's 100 for you. Here's 100 for you, so that they could keep playing to keep the energy up. And so I said, so why do you do this? And she said, it helps me to practice how to manifest quickly, how to manifest engaging with energy. I don't do it for the money. So this is kind of what's happening here in this time of August, is that you're practicing learning how to manifest. But that is a fantastic example. And the reason why is because how many of you, if you just won 1,000 or 5,000 or 10,000, how many of you would be able to put that back into the flow? I remember when we were in Kathmandu, Nepal, and I had these 2 huge cedar sticks, and we met a high level um, Tibetan who teaches meditation. And so Yvonne and I wanted to gift him these 2 sage sticks. And we had a pretty big group we had taken there with us. But he immediately stands up and he's so excited, and he takes it into his chest and he hugs it for a minute and he goes, "This is fantastic. Follow me." And he gets up and he's like, the duck, and we're like the little ducklings racing over to the big, I can't remember, the big stupa with the big Buddha eyes. And they have this ongoing fire there. And he takes us behind the gate. And then he has everybody put their hands on these sage sticks. And then he just tosses them into the fire. So he literally just took the gift of manifestation that we just gave him. Did he hoard it in his room? No. Did he stick it in his sock drawer? No. He immediately put it back into the flow. So this is what you get to practice here in August. When abundance comes, no. Does that mean if you won the lottery and you got $1 billion and you're going to now just give it away? You're probably going to pay off your bills. Be reasonable, but know that this is a practicing time for you as a spiritual being who wants to learn how to manifest at the human 3D level. Exciting times. Oy! I'm like, oh my God. I knew when I printed this off after I typed it, it was like, all right, squeeze that in, Nancy, stay on track. So it's time to focus on your positive affirmations and your goals. And then, do you want to share that abundance with others? Share it with you, share it with others. Get back immediately to seeing what else you can have fun manifesting. Of course, Lionsgate Leo is all about the heart, all about the heart. My very dear friend, we are opposite on the astrological spectrum. So you have Leo and then you have Aquarius, and she's definitely all about the heart and always wanting to talk about love, compassion, and forgiveness. There's a lot of self-forgiveness that's going on this August. You're not looking as much outside of yourself to forgive others or blame others. There's more of a focus of turning in. How's everyone doing? You're doing okay? Okay. So what did I write here? Whether you personally resonate with Lionsgate or not, because some of you are going to feel it, some of you don't. I will tell you, I've never really felt Lionsgate in a huge, gigantic way. However, this year's different, but there's a lot of you that it's just like every year you really look forward to this. So whether you personally resonate with Lionsgate or not, it's a reminder of the importance of being open to spiritual growth, self-awareness, embracing your cosmic connections that exist within your universe. So I wrote, In some ways, right now, it feels like we're flipped upside down. It feels like the crown chakra is the root chakra. It feels like the root chakra is the crown chakra. Um, it uh, it's like these multi-dimensional ranges are really with us, really working on us on the planet big time. I just missed a big section here. Oh my gosh, I missed a whole page. Okay, let me just kind of summarize this in a nutshell, and I will include more in the blog post. So then this is when things got kind of serious, not like the planet serious, but serious, where Spirit said, this is where we're really starting. We've been noticing the dividing line the last few years. That is going to become more stark, more glaring, where you're going to have those who believe in this higher expansiveness, and then you're going to have those who don't believe. They're a little more skeptical or critical or doubtful. Maybe they're more intentionally, they're suffering and they're struggling, and they want everyone around them to suffer and struggle as well. So on YouTube, you can look up Greg Braden, or you can type in the Hopi um, petroglyphs and ask that. And then, but specifically with Greg Braden, I thought he did an excellent job talking about this, and it shows the graduation of some people moving upwards and some people staying on the straight line. So this is what Spirit said. If you think you've seen the division before, you ain't seen nothing yet. And so we're really going to start seeing a much greater divide before we start seeing a larger uniting of humanity. But this is the thing, and we could probably have conversations about this for days, but I almost want to read it almost verbatim. The first time, okay, so when looking at the August frequency forecast, it's super high. I don't see a drop in frequency at all. But this doesn't mean that it's happy, happy, joy, joy, because your spirit can be thrilled at the opportunity to expand, but your physical body feels like it's at the breaking point. Often we think letting go is the key. Don't you guys get tired of being told to let go? Don't you get tired of telling yourself to let go? It's like, frick, how many times in my life do I have to let go? You feel like you let go of a ton and you move an inch, So I get that letting go piece. So this is what Spirit said. This month of August is about allowing. So it's about allowing what is happening to happen and remain in a pure state of discovery. I always tell my students, curiosity. I love the word discovery. If you're jealous, be jealous. If you're angry, be angry. If you're stuck, accept your stuckness. Just don't live in those places. Simply embrace them. Embrace it. Oh, I'm feeling some jealousy now. Instead of, I'm jealous, I'm not pure enough spiritually, which is what a lot of us do. All right. Don't do it. Allow and embrace. This is the first time where Spirit said the dividing line between the two different states of consciousness. There's a low level, there's a high level. Spirit came through strongly to state that both sides are working for each other. Write this down. It's not us and them. That's what Spirit said. Both sides are working for each other. Those who are capable of wading through the high states will bring that in for humanity. So those who are capable can bring in that higher light, allowing that light and anchoring it through grounding, will bring it through to help humanity, while those in low states have offered to move through the sludge so that those in the high states do not have to. Okay, want to hear that again? Those in the spiritually high states have an easier time maintaining that state because someone else has agreed to walk through the sludge. Someone else has agreed to flip over that horrible, horrible karma that we've left on the planet. Some of those have agreed to turn over that corruption. to turn over violence, to turn this over, to work it through, to work that land, to keep softening that land so that those who are in the higher bright light, I'm a light worker, right? So if you say I'm a light worker, you're a light worker, you're bringing in the light, you're anchoring in the light, but somebody's down below softening that soil, putting that pitchfork in and turning it over. My father always says, if you want to know what's going to happen in the future, look to the past. And that is so true, because vibrationally, any horrible thing that has happened has left a vibrational imprint. Anything that's good that's happened has left a vibrational footprint. But most of us want to visit those places that have the high vibrational footprint so that we feel good and uplifted. And it's important to get recharged. But then what did I say earlier in the talk? Then take some action, be in service, bring that light to maybe some of those heavier, darker places. Had a dear friend who's working out at the prison with the most sexually violent offenders and who've been in prison for for up to 40 years. And my friend goes there to work to help bring in the light, to help them to bring in the light, not just to sit in a dark place in that suffrage. Because remember, they're working for us, we are working for them. It's a big support system moving forward. So each side should be in a state of gratitude for the other. But this is not going to happen. This is what Spirit said. It's not going to happen in our current state of growth. But it will happen more of that gratitude as we move forward. So right now, the lower states of consciousness, they're turning over some deep, dark, energetic karma. It's rough going. It's rough to express. It doesn't feel good. And we are really witnessing some real nasty behaviors as old evil, old karmic evil is being expressed, turned over, softened up so that the light can come in. So everyone on the face of the planet has value. Everyone on the face of the planet is doing something really worth supporting. So as Spirit reminds me, we are working incredibly hard to heal, to clear the atrocities that happen on the planet that are still happening, while at the same time we're hoping for a different outcome. And I don't know that we're totally done yet, but I do see an enormous light at the end of the tunnel. So right now, yep, big accelerated growth. That train is moving uphill on the tracks, which is you. So let's just do we're going to do a really quick meditation. And the meditation is going to be fairly simple. We're going to say anything that I have ever believed in my entire life that is old and outdated, I'm going to bring it into this present moment, and I'm just going to let it crumble and dissolve down my grounding. Anything that I believe that is old and outdated and no longer serves me, okay? That's going to be a little simple release. Are you ready? Okay, go ahead, close your eyes. Turn within. Allow and embrace your humanness, the good, the bad, the ugly. Embrace your humanness. Please let your human body know. It's like, you know what, friend, body, you've been programmed with a lot of other people's belief systems. You've been programmed with a lot of religious belief systems that maybe just don't have much value in this time that we're living in. You have belief systems around what it's like to be a woman and what it's like to be a man, what it's like to be married and in a relationship, what it's like to be a kid. So you just talk to your body, say, wow, you've been programmed to believe a lot of things that maybe began as somebody else's belief that you adopted. So take just a few moments to talk to your body about what it's ready to shift. We are trained to believe that we must understand something before we can let it go, and that's just not true. It's energy, pure energy. You can just don't have to understand it. It can dissipate. So now say hello, good morning, good day to your own spirit, and say, I'm willing to let go of some belief systems that just don't work for me anymore. Can you help me with that? And then go ahead and just imagine grounding yourself to the center of the earth. It can be like a tree root system, a tap root system. I have a brother-in-law that talks about sinking his steel and dumping his trash. Um, it can be a herd of elephants as you're grounding, a waterfall, dragonflies. Wow, we've had a lot of dragonflies around lately. But whatever your grounding is, just be light, be playful, allow it to connect around the area, the lower part of your auric field, and then all the way and connect to the center of the earth. Now imagine that every belief system that you hold as a truth that's actually not true, or a belief system that you hold as a truth but you've outgrown it, imagine that it's like a little ornament hanging from a tree, and just set your intention that all of those little ornaments that represent a belief system that I no longer need, it doesn't benefit me during this great time of growth. I'm going to go ahead and let those ornaments just drop down my grounding. All the belief systems that I hold that no longer are in alignment with my truest path and purpose are going to dissolve easily and effortlessly now and flow down my grounding. And then just bring in the cosmic light of blue, green, silver, or gold, or all four if you wish, to come right into the room where you are, to rinse through the room, dissolving belief systems. Those belief system structures that only serve to hold you back. Let's get them dissolved so that you can expand your consciousness. Every time that cosmic light touches one of those little ornaments, poof, it's just going to dissolve. It's just going to dissolve all those old belief systems. I can sense a lot of head things going on. Lots of people trying to think of what's that belief system. It's just, hey, if you're old, down the grounding. If you're holding me back, I'm letting you go. Remember, you're in the driver's seat of the car. You know where you're going. You're not looking back. You're not holding back. You've got the gear in first gear. The engine's on. What are you leaving behind? And just let it drop down your grounding. That's some really thick energy that's releasing. Just pour in more cosmic energy to just dilute that thicker, sluggish beliefs that just weigh you down and burden you. Let that cosmic come and dissolve it so it can just flush right down the drain of your grounding. You're almost there. Open your heart chakra. That always helps. Ooh, there you go. Big group of you just released a big batch. We're going to do just a few more seconds here. You've got a few more 100 people. I can tell that it's just hanging right there. Just let it go, because more of your spirit's going to come in and align with you. You're going to feel lighter and brighter. So let go of the old belief systems. Nice, nice. Whew. All right. Thank your body. Thank your spirit. So we have somebody on YouTube saying, oh my God, that was really weird. That gave me the dry heaves. Well, it's not so weird, Rebecca, because Yvonne and I have been hearing this the past couple days about nausea, extreme nausea, big third chakra stuff. And why? Because your third chakra is the energy distribution center of your light. So you're letting go of those old belief systems so more of your light can come in and just illuminate truth. All right, everyone. We are heading into August next week. On my page on Facebook, Intuition with Precision, I'm going to be talking about how to protect yourself from negative forces, but you'd have to be on Facebook to get that. I'm going to talk more about the blue light on July 30th. And so, yeah, where are we? Oh no, I just talked about the blue lights. That'll be in August, but be watching for things coming up around the fall equinox. And then the biggest thing of all is the blue light movement that will be happening in November. I'm currently working on that. So you guys have a fantastic day. Take good care of yourself. You just released some really thick mucusy energy that's been around some old belief systems. So as soon as we get off this talk, as soon as you watch the replay, get up and go drink a glass of water. All right. Take care, everyone. Thanks for joining me, and enjoy this time. Appreciate this time that we're living in. Thanks. Bye-bye.